he'll push through it.
But, you know, Carter, this is what I keep trying to say. He's like, well, we are asking for change. We're asking for change. Well, first of all, let me address the change. The change it's just like being in a union. You can only be as strong and effective as the people that are behind you. And when you don't have a majority behind you and you're the president, you got nothing. Nothing.
Right. Well, you know, a lot of people were behind Barack Obama when he came in. They were looking forward to change and everything.
But the same people that was looking for change didn't go out and vote the second time around to put the people in there to be effective to help him with that change.
Yeah, because
you put all these Republican governors in here who saying, here's Detroit, smash it. We want to kill all those people in Detroit. You understand what I'm saying? There was nobody effective that was voted in. The majority of the people that got voted into office right now are Republicans this year. They are not going to help him. Because guess what? They want to see him fail. They want to see him fail. They setting him up to fail. So guess what? So that he won't have a chance to run another term.
Right. That's what you think.
That's what I think.
Let me continue
I believe some of his initiatives during his campaign, some of the things he wanted to accomplish was a little bit far-fetched. It was beyond his reach. Some of the things that he wanted to accomplish, like, you know, bringing troops home really fast and, you know, things like that, and creating green jobs. So when there's a lot of technology that still has to evolve before you can actually start going green. And to, you know, promise that you can create that
whole Iraq, I'm going to bring the troops home thing was a farce. Number one, they're always going to be there. They leaving 50,000 troops there, and then they probably got another 100,000 mercenaries over there running around doing that thing that's working for the government. It's a war for profit. You know, Halliburton and everybody's over there making money. So ain't nobody coming home.
But, you know, again, it's hard to stop something that another president left behind.
And you know, you press the issue that, you know, and this is what I mean by holding them to a higher standard. Because you say it's a war for profit and that, you know, he promised to bring them home, but he didn't. But his predecessor actually kicked off the war on some erroneous charges that there was weapons of mass destruction. And there wasn't.
George Bush kicked off a preempted war on lies about weapons of mass destruction that he knew Saddam Hussein didn't have. Okay? Sent a whole lot of people over there to be killed a whole lot of Iraqis. And he's sitting down on the ranch with a golden parachute. You know what I'm saying? As if he's a hero in America today.
Exactly. What I don't understand is, and this is the main.
I didn't know about it. You know, he gonna sit down there and he's highly implicated in 911 and that inside job that happened. My main issue, and I think the main issue with the white vote, is Obama spending. They complain about Obama spending when the funds are low and it's a lot of spending going on. They need more revenue coming in and things of that matter. But, you know, discretionary spending went up by 48% during Bush's administration. Homeland Security was the driving force in all of that. Bush wasn't going to spend for the money in the first place.
He spent $300 billion last year alone. I mean, well, his last year before 9/11, he spent $31 billion after that. Right after 9/11. Nobody said anything. Education went up 18%. Nobody said anything. When he did that No Child Left Behind Act, annually, education spending went up 18%.
You keep bringing up Bush's shortcomings, like because of George Bush's shortcomings, Obama can have $1 billion shortcomings and everything's cool. Everything's not cool with Obama having shortcomings because he's the president now. George Bush is gone. Okay, I didn't like what he was doing. I don't like the way Obama is playing this. Okay, and the way he's doing it. He sent more troops over to Afghanistan. He got drones flying around Pakistan shooting missiles at anybody with a turban on. It don't matter whether they're next to kids or not. Okay?
We don't know that to be true.
In Somalia, the same thing. So, I got issues with that. And with Barack Obama and the whole, and like you said, the spending and all that. George Bush started that. George Bush waited and he waited and said the economy's fine. The economy's fine. Everything's cool. The economy's fine. Right up until like his last year in office, and then he started screaming, "If I don't get $800 billion, all hell is gonna break loose." Okay? Yeah, he did that. Right?
You're right. He spent $700 billion messing around with the Medicare prescription drug benefit over 10 years. That cost $700 billion. He did a highway bill in 2005, which included like 1,000 local projects, which was stuck in legislation's hands of those individual lawmakers without review to go ahead and put in what they wanted to put in for. It ended up costing $295 billion, and nobody, and he's losing his white vote because he's spending too much.
And then he started spending $1 billion a day in Iraq. Okay, George Bush. Okay, I understand all that. I was against it all. I was against the preemptive war. Number one, Saddam Hussein didn't have anything to do with 9/11. Period. Okay, it was a sovereign country. There was no reason to attack him in a preemptive war about anything, even if he had weapons of mass destruction. Everybody on the planet just about got weapons of mass destruction. So why go after Saddam Hussein about having weapons of mass destruction when everybody else got it? It didn't make any sense. You couldn't.
Why not Russia?
He didn't like Al-Qaeda. They weren't in. Many people blew up.
God, I lost both of you there for a minute.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
There you are. Yeah, I lost both of you for about 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything for a second there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I was just saying, basically, that because George Bush was such a failure, doesn't give Obama the right to go ahead and be a failure. I'm not holding Obama to any higher standard. I'm holding him to the same standard that I would hold any president to. I expect the nation's resources to go where the people need the most, and not on a whole lot of junky wars and everything. If you want to...
Lost him again.
Well, if you look at the circumstances in which he came into, they're totally different. Bush came into office after an administration that had costs down and everything. The economy was probably at its best that it was in a long time. That's when he came in. Spending. Okay? Obama comes in when everything is in shambles, from war to the economy and a recession. I like to say depression. Okay? If you look at the spending in Bush's administration, hundreds of billions at a time, compared to what Obama's doing now, you would have to say that spending has lessened since his predecessor's administration. But he's losing his white vote mainly due to spending. He's losing votes because troops haven't came home, but he came into a situation where troops are stuck in another country. He can't bring them home if he wanted to. Something that his predecessor did.
Yeah, we've lost One Iam, and now they're messing with his phone. They shorted out his cable, now they're shorting out his telephone. So, looks like you're the host for the moment, so go for it.
I just think, people hold Obama to a higher standard. Mainly black people hold Obama to a higher standard, and a lot of white people hold Obama to a higher standard than they do other politicians. I mean, a lot of spending that Bush did and other presidents have done, people have overlooked because they naturally have a respect for the president, and he's obviously a smart person. So what does my ideas mean? And they go ahead and they just write him off as he knows what he's doing. But because Obama's black, a lot of people question everything that is done, everything that goes on. And I think that's the main issue. And because we haven't seen these huge changes within 4 years, although we have had many changes, they're still not satisfied. And I do agree with One Iam when he spoke about, Obama promising a lot of things, but what politician doesn't? What politician that don't promise to change the world? I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, they're all nuts. I don't believe any of them are really controlling nothing. They're just following the orders of their masters, so to speak. Whoever's funding their campaign and buying their books and et cetera, et cetera. It's nuts.
Exactly. I mean, Obama got $50 million a month from, they say, internet, people, different internet organizations and companies.
Right.
Yeah, $50 million a month. And he's supposed to look out for the black vote?
Yeah, no kidding. All right, there we go. We got him back. Hey, One. They messing with your phone now, or what?
Connection dropped. Okay, I was saying, he denounced Farrakhan. Okay? That was friend two, out of Chicago that he denounced. And let me tell you, both of these guys kind of sat back after they got denounced and said, well, I understand why he denounced us. He got to back away from us and go for that white vote and try to get in the office. And when he get in the office, then he'll do something for urban America. We're going to finally get somebody in there that's going to give us some help. I understand what everybody was thinking and what everybody was hoping for. They didn't get that with Barack Obama. Okay? Martin Luther King was honored on his 40th anniversary assassination down in Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, this from FoxNews.com. Memphis, Tennessee, on the 40th anniversary of his assassination, the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. is to be honored as a champion of peace in the city where he died. Presidential candidates Hillary Clinton and John McCain were scheduled to take part in the anniversary day events that were to include a recommitment march through Memphis and the laying of wreaths at the site of King's assassination. Senator Barack Obama decided that he couldn't make it. He was going to Indiana to campaign for some white voters. He was going to Indiana. He couldn't make it to Martin Luther King's 40th anniversary of his assassination. Okay, which was a big thing. Hillary Clinton was there, and John McCain even went and said he made a mistake when he voted against the King holiday and stuff like. He was straight up, and he was on the level and everything. Barack Obama.
Well, he probably never believed in voting against the King holiday, but he was campaigning. That's the whole thing about campaigning. It's trying to win people's votes. Unfortunately, everybody's not straight up and down. How many Martin Luther King holidays did Bush go to? How many Martin Luther King celebrations did Clinton go to? How many did Bush's dad go to?
This was the 40th
If you talk about presidents on the whole, how many presidents went to a Martin Luther King birthday celebration?
This was the 40th anniversary.
Obama is just another one that didn't go.
I don't know how many events they attended. Bush or Bush 1 or Bush 2 or even Clinton.
Or even Clinton.
I didn't look that up. I do know that Barack Obama, during his campaign, decided that he wanted to go to Indiana rather than go to that 40th anniversary thing where Clinton and McCain was at.
Okay, question. If George W. was in office and this 40th anniversary went on, would you expect him to go and support?
If George Bush was in office?
Would you expect him to support the 40th anniversary of Dr. King?
Maybe not, if he was in office already. But what I'm saying is this, that these were primary candidates, presidential candidates that showed up at this anniversary.